about the competitiveness. So in the operation, we see a lot that we talk about the competitiveness, which is the how effectively an organization meet the want and the need of the customer relative to the other that offer a similar product and good and service. So it means that even though in the operation, the customer need and customer want is quite very important. Okay. So we can see that the company or the organization that can meet the need and the want of the customer can have more competitiveness than others. So we all know about the competitiveness. You know about the how business compete using the marketing, right? If we ask you about, okay, if I want to compete with others using the marketing thing, what we gonna do? Yes, maybe pricing, right? Setting up the price more competitive, or even though using the advertising or the promotion, right? Even though like identify the consumer want and need. Right? So this is quite the thing that marketing you study already, right? Besides using the marketing thing, right? Advertising and the promotion. Even though you can have more options than this, but mainly marketing you do all this. But how about the operations? For the operation that yes, we compete using the design of a product and service, right? We compete using the cost. Right? If we can save the cost, if we can provide with the low production cost, you can have the cost effective, right, compared to others. We compete using the location, right, as the real estate industry, or maybe you can think about the 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven, or now you can see about the coffee shop, right? You can see that Starbucks also opened the shop in gas station, right? To compete with Amazon, right? Right? Amazon have the very competitiveness by using the location of the PTT gas station, right? So this is like the how we compete using the operation by using the compete. Using the operation by using the location. The quality things, right? So yeah, we know that some products or some service is more premium, right? And customer realize about the qualities of things. So Apple, right? Maybe you can think about the qualities, you can think about the design, or the quick response, right? Right now, we see a lot of the last mile delivery using the Lalamove, Lyman, Curry. So this is the things that business compete using the operation. Right. We also have another option, right? Supply chain management, right? So if you have the links between each organization, if you have the strong supply chain, you can have the cost advantage to be in the business. Inventory management, right? How can you keep the inventory minimum but still can provide to the customer? So also things about the compete using the worker as well. Right? So this is like the option for the operation. Right? So in the term of operation, when we have the strategy, so this is a list that some of them you are very familiar with. That we can know that they're using like the operation strategy to compete and make their have the competitive advantage. For example, IKEA. So this is a company that's provide furniture, right? So what do you think about the strategy that very important? What is the operation strategy that the IKEA do? What is it?
Self-service.
Self-service, and how it tell?
It reduces human resource costs.
Okay, and
And then
yeah, it's a cost. Human resource cost and what cost? Another cost is about the delivery, right? Because customer, the take from the shop, right, back to the home and make the assembly by themselves. Yes, IKEA. And you know that for IKEA, they have more than that. Yes, you may think about that. Okay, IKEA is just like try to make the design, right, for every product that can split into like the part, right, install into the box, right, and the customer can carry by themselves, right, to make the assembly at home, right, and besides this strategy, the design is another main important of the IKEA, because if you have the information, you can go to YouTube or whatsoever. They're gonna say that okay, IKEA they're gonna setting up the price first, and let the designer to make the design of the product to sell for them within that price. Okay, so they try to control about the price, about the cost by using the design, and there's one video show that in Sweden the IKEA they can save the cost of delivery and the inventory as well, because they have the railway, right, get into the factory of the distribution center. So that can contain about the 12 or 13 bogie of the train. So they can deliver real fast, right, to the customer. Right. And what next? The Apple, what is the operation strategy? For what? I mentioned before that, right? Yeah, the design, about the quality, about the ecosystem, right? You're using like the same chip. They also try to make the people perceive the quality from their design and from their quality. Okay, this one is hot today. MK. So you know that, right? So MK, what is the operation strategy for MK? MK is a sukiyaki restaurant, right? Yeah, you can think about they try to improve the process of ordering. In the past, MK, when you make order, right, you are checking about the box within the orders order paper, and then it's changed, right, using like the PDA, right, to make order. That's very more exciting at that time. And now MK they use like the iPad as well, and also that MKs they're concerned about the fast of their operation, because in sukiyaki business the important thing is about how fast you serve for your customer, especially about the hot borders, right? The pot. Right? So when you go to the MK restaurant, what you see? You can see that everything is real fast, right? And the water is only hot because they're boiling at the center of the shop. Right? And everything is designed in order to make it more efficient for the business. For example, in the past when you have the chance to go to like the Kokao Canton Sukiyaki, the table is quite big because the plate is quite big, right? But MK is just like you have the condominium plate, right? And also they also make the design of the table that have like the secret drawer, right? If you don't have enough space to carry all the plates up together. Right? And this is just like the little thing that they try to do, make more operation and yes, location and the control the quality. Because if you have a lot of franchise, the important thing is about how can you control the quality, control about the taste, right, for every branch. And also they even make the design like like the refrigerator by themselves, then open at front, right, and get it back at the back. It means that everything try to make them more fresh about the meat and pork, something like that for using for the sukiyaki. Ritz-Carlton is a very great hotel, right? they're getting all the reward from the quality, so they have the great service. But this is really good for the example of how can we have the service qualities, right? They use like the database to store every information about the customer. They know that, okay, if the customer have this problem, how can they handle? If they handle this type of thing, the customer is gonna like or doesn't like something like that. So they collect everything in the database to use for the service quality. Sarah, this Sarah is have their own right factory and is very competitive when you compare to the Gap or H&M because Sarah is quite real fast, right? The models on the catwalk, right? All the clothes or whatsoever, and after 2 weeks they're gonna appear in the shop, right? For Sarah, right? But for others it's maybe more than that, like 6 or 8 weeks, something like that. FedEx, right? So real fast for the air delivery, right? Overnight. At first, when they introduced, they are very impressive customer by using the tracking system, right? 7-Eleven, not talking about this very much, so they do everything. Location, you can see that location is changed a lot, right? Now you can see a lot of the 7-Eleven in the office building, in the hotel, in the school or university, something like that, right? They sell everything, right? They have everything here. And Taco Bell is coming to Bangkok. So, it's what?
2 weeks.
Taco shop.
Stackable taco shop.
It's Mexican food. Yeah, fast food restaurant. It's number one low cost fast food restaurant. It's the Taco Bell. It's about the Mexican food. So the Mexican food actually they have two major of their product, right? Taco and burrito. Even though itself their product is quite real fast. But for Taco Bell, it's change a lot of the dining area and also design the new kitchen area, make everything more automated, right? So for example, when you, I think you guys maybe have experience that when you go to like the KFC or McDonald's and you buy the kitchen, the fried chicken or the hamburger, and you want the sauce, right? Ketchup or the chili sauce, you need to put by the for getting the sauce, right? And sometimes you have like a little cup, right, to contain the ketchup, but you try to make it more full. Right? and then it's over of the cup. But in the kitchen of the Taco Bell, they try to make everything is real fast by operate by one person. But even though you can, when you try to push the sauce, it's setting already that you push this level, it's locked, and the volume of the ketchup is gonna enough for one taco or something like that. It's very real fast. And also they're gonna also design what the package that contain about the food that more warm, something like that. So this is just like the company that do a lot of things about the operation, and also global, right? So right now we can see that a lot of leading company, or even though like the national company, they have like the global competition because nowadays the material or even the services that come from all around the world, right? So you can see that the sports shoe, right, Nike or Adidas is right, it's from Europe, right? But they make their manufacturing or produce in Vietnam or in China, and they sell in Southeast Asia, Thailand, something like that. So there's a lot of things that right now is like the global. So this is you can see that that's why the competitiveness is quite very important so far because you are not competing just in the domestic. You compete in the global competition, right? And this is the forces that create the increase of the global competition. Right? Like the regulation is loosened, increasing about the demand from the customer, right? The trade barrier is reducing, and the cost advantages. Cost advantages, especially about the workforce. You can see that in Thailand, if you have the chance go to the factory, most of them, the workforce in that factory is not Thai people, it's not Thai worker anymore, right? It come from Myanmar or come from other country, you know, and in US as well, right? And how about the disadvantages of the global competition? It seems like the global competition or have the global term is quite good, that you can have you can sell the product around the world, you can have all material or workforce, but they also have the disadvantages, right? Because you have the risk, political risk, right? Just like in Thailand, or lower skill, you can have the problem about the skill of the worker. And also difficulty is about the cross-functional coordination, because you have more than one nationality working together. You need to, join, working with, Europe, with Asia, with African, and so on. So this is quite a difficult thing, cross-cultural. It's quite important thing, right? Because you need to understand the culture, you need to cooperate and coordination together, right? And also sometimes, right, it's about you open about the proprietary technology to others. They know about your technology, right? And also sometimes it's very hard to produce the product to compete in that area, right? That's very in that area. So you can see that even though McDonald's, right, the product McDonald's in US or in UK is different from in Thailand, right? There is no, the product that sell in Thailand to sell in the US. Right? Sometimes it's different, right? Because it depends on the need of the people that on that area. Right? So the global strategy, you can see that it's quite difficult, because maybe one thing that work in one country maybe not work in others. Right? You can see that in the past, for example, in US, Walmart, right? Walmart is quite big, right? And every city you have Walmart. They sell from small thing to large thing, right? Walmart is quite successful in the past in US, right? And one in some time when Walmart came to the Japan and tried to open the Walmart in Japan, it didn't success because they have the different culture, different attitude. Because in Japan, they have the more attitude for the body quality related to the price. Because low price, they have the perception of lower quality. So the Walmart doesn't success much in the Japan, something like that. And you can see sometimes we have the merging and acquisition between the products. Should be good, but sometimes it's bad. Like let's say that HP and Compaq in the past or whatsoever, and you can see that this is the thing that you need to consider when you provide the strategy. Like culture, economics, political is quite very important. Social. So another one is about the different culture, different persons, right? Manufacturing need to work valuable. They will move to wherever is cheapest, right? And more convenient to their interest. So we're gonna see a lot, right now that they have a lot of company that going around the world that compete, right, each other because they try to find the best for the cheapest of their strategy of their operation. And for sure that if we try to list the reason of globalize for the company, this is the major of reason that they do the globalization. For example, they do the cost. So you can see that one case study that you made me to do that is about the case study of the cup, the cup, the company that produce chew cup. they have a lot of the strategy about the global strategy based on the supply chain in order to reduce the cost of their operation. So that they bought some material and they link with other factory, other distribution. They try to make the product based on the seasonal, based on the need of that country, something like that, in order to reduce the cost and make the product more expensive. But improve the supply chain, like because they feel that okay, they need like a distribution center that's close to the customer. They need the location for the new factory that's close to the material, something like that. Right? So that's why they do the globalization. Provide better goods and services because maybe right the need for that specific country different from other one. So if you do the globalization, it means that you try to serve that people better than using like a general strategy. For example, you can see that as I mentioned that the product that sell Thailand maybe it's like the edition that's not provided with other country. Right? Understanding the market and improve the operation by reducing the cost. So and also attracting about the more talented people. So this is the reason to do the globalization. So for the first part, right, of this strategy, I'm talking about the competitiveness, right? So I would like you to understand that right now, right, they compete as global and operation strategy is one that can help the company to do the globalization. The next one is about the strategy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, okay, based on your last semester, you can study about the strategic management. That course going to provide you more understandable about the strategy. But for now, in our course, I need to provide you just a little bit information about the strategy to let you know that what is the strategy and how it's linked to operation. Right? So this slide shows you about vision, strategy, and tactics. Actually, strategy is about the plan. So you try to do a strategy because you need to have the mission first. The mission is the one that as the objective, right, of your organization. Right. So in order to achieve that mission, you need to plan for the strategy. And in order to execute, in order to operate it, you need to have the tactics. So I will show you all of this. Right? For example, first is about the meaning of the strategy. Strategy is a plan, right, to achieve the goal or the objective of the organization. Right? Strategy can be long-term, intermediate term, and short-term. Right? And for sure that it needs to design to support all the mission of organization and goals. So in terms of the strategy, right, you're gonna have like a corporate strategy and then break down to the business strategy and functional strategy. And for strategy, to explain more, you can see first you need to have the mission. Mission is about the reason for existing for an organization, right? So if you provide the detail for the mission, it's about the goal, right? Strategy is planned to achieve goal of the organization. The tactic is the method or the actions the taking to accomplish the strategy. Right? So in this case, right, you can see that okay, first your company needs to have the mission. You provide more detail about the mission is about your goal. You have to achieve the goal, then you plan for the strategy. When you try to execute the strategy, you need the method. That would be the tactic. But up to this time, sometimes you confuse about the vision and the mission, right? Vision is about what you want to become in the future. This is the vision. But for mission, it's about what you are concerned about right now, what you are doing for your business. So different, right? So so you need to achieve mission in order to go to getting the vision that you want. Okay. So in this case, you can see that for vision and mission, right, you can see the vision statement provide you with the overall purpose of the organization. But for the vision statement, provide you with the the picture of the future, right? So this is quite different, right? Quite different. So the mission is tell you go, is tell you operate, what you are doing, what you are business unit. But for vision, what you want to become, that would be the things. And in order to serve for the mission, you need to plan for strategy. And this is the mission statement for FedEx, right? It's quite long, so I will not read it. You can see and read it. And my point is that it's for Hard Rock. Okay, this one. So again, you have the mission, and then you go right, and then you have the organizational strategy. For example, you're gonna grow, or you're gonna pretend the same, or you're gonna shortening the company, right? Shortening the growth, something like that. Right? So it's depends. But most of the strategy for the organization is growth. Right? And then you can have the business strategy, and then break down to the functional, right? Financial strategy, marketing, and operation. Right? And in order to do it, you have the method, right? That would be the tactic. And this is the example. It's quite very clear here. So, for example, we have Rita is not Sirita, okay, it's just Rita. You know Sirita, right? Yeah, come to our school. So let's say that she's gonna stay until next semester or not. Because I'm gonna teach her next semester. ลุ้นอยู่
Tara สูงมาก
Because she has a lot of event. Right? I don't know that. So actually, for the celebrity, there are a lot of celebrity in this business school. Sometimes I have no idea. I don't know that I'm teaching the celebrity. Actually, this is a I'm not joking, but it's a real one, right? And sometimes I don't realize this is a superstar. I don't know, but my students they know. Okay, they tell me, okay, okay. So Rita is a high school student. She would like to have a career in business, have a good job, earn enough income to live comfortably. So what is this? You can see that what is the mission here? What they want? What the Rita want, right? That is what is the reason to essence of the Rita live a good life, right? So more detail we go what means live a good life. For sure, successful in the career and have a good income. So if you want to successful in the career and have a good income, what are you gonna do? You have no idea. You depend for strategy. Strategy is about okay, go to the college for education. Just a simple. Okay? And the tactic is that okay, you select the college and the major. Right, and operation is about step by step that you're gonna do, right? Enrollment, study, register, buying the book, something like that. Right? So this is the example of the strategy. So the strategy can be one of this, right? Low cost strategy, yeah, like AirAsia, low cost airline, right? The Taco Bell. Or that would be the low cost strategy. It doesn't mean you provide with less price, but low cost strategy is that you can operate with the lower cost. So that's why you have the cost advantage that you can setting up the price lower than others because you operate with the lower cost. Skill-based strategies mean that the strategy that you can try to make more output by getting more output. Specialization, right? You can have the strategy that you do special things, and flexible operation. This is a strategy that you can have the flexibility to adjust with the change of the demand of the customer or change of the design of the product, something like that. And high quality Lexus or Mercedes-Benz, whatever. So this is the high quality strategy and service. sometimes you're using the strategy of the service. So in the past, almost 20 years ago, like the Dell computer company, they use the strategy of service by using the at-home service. Right? When you have the problem, if you buying that service, they're gonna have the technician coming to your home to change and to fix your computers. No need to carry your notebook or your computer back to the company and waiting at least 2 or 3 weeks. But they're gonna come to your home, right next to your door, and gonna fix everything. And this is in the past 20 years. So now it's just the strategy for the service that's getting similar to almost all the company for the computers. Okay, now you may have some idea about strategy. So you know the strategy is for the plan to achieve your organizational goal. That's it. If you want to formulate a strategy, what would be the thing that you should have? First of all, it's very important. You need to know about your distinctive competency. What would be the special thing or abilities thing that your organization have than others and have doing better than others? You need to know. So if they ask about this is the competency of talk about the PTT. What would be the competency of PTT? Starbucks. This is competency of Starbucks is what? Service?
Location.
Location? Okay. Another thing is beside location?
Quality.
Quality. One of them is quality. And what next? Yes, it can be quality. What next? They said that there's sales experience, right? Not sales for coffee. Right. First for the stuff. So competency is that okay? Yeah, just talking the term of quality. Yes, if you go to a Starbucks, Jamshid Square, and you go to a Starbucks in Harvard, same test. But you go to the Amazon in Rama 4 and Amazon in Lat Pao, maybe the taste of the coffee is different. But this one, I mean, if you want to develop your strategy, you need to know that what is your special ability that you win good, win better. Right? If they ask for our business school, the competency is about the location because we are near the MRT. Because when we're doing an interview, all the students, almost all of them, tell that, okay, they select this business school because it's easy to come close to the office. And it's competency. Okay? So this is the competency. You need to know what is the special ability that you have and doing better than others. And then you can think in the term of, competency in terms of the price, quality, or flexibility, location. That's what your friend said. Yes, this is a list that can be. And this is the diagram to show you about how can we formulate the operation strategy. So maybe it's cover more than this course, but I will conclude it for you. First of all, yes, as I mentioned, the company has the corporate strategy. And then corporate strategy maybe can think about you're gonna doing the growth strategy. And business strategy is about how can you grow, and you can think about doing like the differentiation, sell the differentiation product in the new market, something like that. Operation strategy is one of the functions of the business strategy. Right? What you're gonna do, right? So you need to understand that the operation strategy needs to align with the business strategy and corporate strategy. So you need to, answer with the mission, and you need to know about your distinctive competency, right? And you can using right? The factor to be the one that you're gonna attack for the competency, right? Competency in terms of cost, quality, or the flexibility, right? And then in this case, right, you need to have, let's go to this one first. You need to have to analyze, right, in order to write a strategy. You need to have this competency. You analyze the environmental scanning, right? Like what is the economic condition, what will be the socialization, what will the technology right now, how about the political factor. You can do SWOT analysis, right? Strength, right? Weaknesses, opportunity, and threat. After you know about your business competency, you analyze external, you do internal, and you can have these two things to think about the strategy as well, to use one, to be one of the components for formulate the strategy. These are order, qualifier, and order winner. What is this? Order, qualifier, and order winner. What is this? How we go back? Order qualifier is about the characteristics that the customer perceive, right, as the minimum standard for your product and service. But for the order winner, it's about the characteristics that you provide, right, to the customer that customer perceive as better than others. So my point is that this one, right, you need to try to find or call insight, customer insight. What would be the thing that customer want? So order qualifier is just like the minimum requirement. So if you have your product and service just meet the order qualifier, right, you're gonna die in the future because others can do similar to you. You need to try to find something that be the order winner because based on the order winner, customers sometimes doesn't realize that they want it, but you know that they want it. So if you want, if you provide that characteristic to the product and service to the customer as an order winner, the customer gonna, surprise, gonna wow, like gonna very happy, right? And have the loyalty, right? For example, how about, okay, let's talk about the cell phone and mobile phone. Okay, we know Apple, right? We know Huawei, Samsung, whatever. You know that in last 3 or 4 years ago, I cannot remember, maybe 3 or 4 that the Apple launched one model that have two cameras that can have like when you take the picture, they have like the what is this? It's called
3D.
หน้าชัดหลังเบลออะไร let me check
Focus.
let me check for my phone what is it it's called okay you have the portrait mode or something like that right but then you can have like a very similar to the DSLR camera right? And now what every brand can do it right? And Apple is not the best one so my point is that the order qualifier and order winner can change. At first, you have order winner, but when the time passes, the order winner can be the order qualifier because the other can, can do it as you ask as well. So you need to think more, right, to maintain order winner with your product and service. So, for example, a car. In the past, right? If you 20 more years ago, when you buy a car, the car that have the ABS brake and the both airbags, the both have the central lock or whatsoever, it's gonna be the very top model of that car. Right? But right now, what is this? Even though you buy the car, it's very low price. You can have the push start, right? Because the technology or the characteristic of the order winner, right, is gonna change from time to time. So if you are not trying to find the need or insight the customer want, so it's gonna change to order qualifier. And if you have the characteristic of the product and service to be the order qualifier, what happens? waiting to die, right? Because others have asked you, so customer can select other, not just only you. Okay, and this is the thing that you have to think. So it's difficult. Well, how can we think about this? And it depends on your ability as well. So this is a important strategy in the operation, right? For example, I'll show you. Let's say you can think about the process, right? You try to make the automation to help, right? You know that, right? The automation can help you make it faster. Its flow is very fast, right? So you can using like the doing like the more empower worker or doing like using the more automated machine to help about the process. So you can see that right now for the process, there are a lot of the digital things that come to help, right? Even though like doing the transaction, so now you need just one cell phone, you can do everything, right? Right. In the future, you're gonna see that the strategy based on the process is gonna real fast, and it's gonna using like the AI or more digitalization to help all the process and make it real quick. And you just using like a cell phone or the using like the computer to sending the sending the message online something or QR code whatsoever. So this is like the strategy of the process, make it faster by using the technology, using like the digitalization to help. Right? For the qualities, right, trainings, right, or less inspection, but using the concept of change the attitude of the worker to think in the same way of the qualities, and using the concept of the TQM or Six Sigma or whatever to help that can make the qualities more advantageous of for the company to compete. And if you go to here, this is the factor that I mentioned, right? External factor that you need to analyze this thing. Right? Economic condition before you formulate strategy, political condition, legal, technology, competition, right? And for internal, things about the financial, customer, technology, supplier, something like that. For the operation strategy, you can see, right? Like it needs to go in the same direction with the corporate strategy or organizational strategy. It's linked together. And for operation, right, the example to show you, this is the effect of the strategy in the term of operation. If you do this, what will be the effect that you get? You can see that most of them about the effect based on the decision area. If you do like the strategy or the operation, it affects a lot on cost. So the operation strategy mainly can help you to reduce the cost. The cost of inventory, right? With the cost of structure, right? If you have the good strategy in the capacity, something like that. Okay. And in the term of the strategy, normally we can divide it into three main strategies: differentiation, response, and cost leadership. So differentiation is doing better, response is doing faster, cost leadership is doing cheaper. This is example in the past, like maybe some is by the history. For example, you can see like let's say. Okay, this is Southwest Airlines low cost. You can see, innovation, right? In the term of innovation, the qualities. In the past, Sony is good, but now what happened to Sony? See? So it doesn't guarantee that you are doing good, right? You're gonna succeed in the future. You know that history a lot about the product, BlackBerry, whatsoever, right? Actually, they have the good operation strategy, but they are not maintained or try to find right the future or try to capture the future trend or didn't try to try to find a customer insight, right? So it's gonna fail or bankrupt in the future. So this is the example. In this case, right, you have like gonna have like even though like Pizza Hut, right, 5 minutes, right, something like that. So now it's not the fastest one, but in the past it's the strategy that they try to do in the operation. So another way is that they have another point of view about the strategy that in operation they can divide it into two main strategies. It's about the quality-based strategy and time-based strategy. So quality-based strategy is try to focusing to improving the qualities of the organization of the product and service, to improve the product and service of the organization, right? But for the time-based strategy, it's focusing on the time that need to complete the task, right? Just shortening the time. So time doesn't mean just only the fast delivery only. It's including about the time to the market as well. This is the time-based strategy. So if you can launch the product to the market, right, faster than others, you have the competitive advantage. Right? So the time-based strategy it includes about strategy that you make the time to the market faster and also deliver the products faster. But quality-based strategy, you are doing everything that try to improve the quality of the product and service. And for the time-based strategy, right, the most important part that they usually try to shortening the time, right, for doing the product or doing the time is about reducing about the chain over. So for example, let's talk about when you try to launch the new product. Right? In the part of the design, right? If you not cooperate together or coordinate together between the designer and the production person and the marketing person, so when the designer design the product, sometimes it doesn't directly be the one that the marketing tell. This is what the customer wants. And also based on the design from the designer, sometimes your company doesn't have the enough ability to make the production. This is come from the production person. So in this case, you're gonna have the problem of change the design again because this person said that we can not produce it. You change the design again. Another person said this is not what the customer want. The customer want this one, something like that. So you change a lot and make the time is more take it so long, right, to launch the product. So this is the changeover. So the time-based strategy try to reduce this one. So one strategy that they're using is about doing what we call the concurrent engineering that collect everyone that involved, try to make a meeting together and talk together before make the design. So then you can make the compatible design with the production ability of the organization and also in the same direction that the marketing want for serve for the need of the customers. For example, the Kodak in the past. The Kodak in the past is before they do the concurrent engineering, when they try to design the camera and launch the product, gone to the market, they're using around 80 weeks. But after they do like concurrent engineering by using the database and let every part of the team, of the design team, for example, the body of the camera on the lens team or whatsoever, can see what others design right now in order to make their own design to compatible with others. So they can reduce the time to design the camera into around 38 weeks, something like that. So this is in the past, right? So my point is that we need to try to do something that reduce the change over time, either to make it faster and launch it to the product to the market faster. Okay, so that would be the strategy, right? Just a little bit for you, right? Because I believe that the case study will provide you more, right? Because we have no time to talk more about the strategy, but we can use the case study, because case study will combine all the information from other chapter and also strategy as well. For the last part of today, it's about the a little bit calculation. It's about the productivity. The productivity is about the fraction between using output divided by input. The output divided by input. So productivity can help you to measure about the effective use of your resources. How well of your organization to use the resources by convert input to be the output. So the productivity ratio used a lot in planning about the workforce requirement, by scheduling the equipment and analyze the financial thing. So it's not for the production, it's measure only on output, right? Not measure on the efficiency, but for the productivity using output divided by input. So this is the one formula, output divided by input. But we can measure in several aspects, right? The first one is about the partial measurement. For the partial measurement, it means that you're using just output, total output divided by one specific input that you want to measure. Like for example, you can measure about the labor productivity by using all your output divided by the labor hours. You can measure about the productivity based on your capital that you invest by using all the input divided by money that you invest. This is the partial measurement or the single measurement. Another one we call multi-factor measurement. That means that you're using input more than one. But don't forget that you need to using the same unit. For example, if you want to do the multi-factor measurement for the productivity, maybe you're using the output divided by labor hour plus machine hour. So it's hour is in the same unit. So this is a multi-factor measurement. And the last one, the aspect of measure by the total measurement. In this case, you're using total input that you have, right, in the input here, divided the output by the total input. Right? And also, you can measure about the growth of the productivity by calculating the productivity growth, right? By using the current period productivity minus the previous one divided by the previous period productivity. So this is the list of the example of the measure of the productivity. As I mentioned, partial measure the productivity based on labor, based on machine hour, based on capital, based on energy. So in Thai word, productivity is the ผลิตภาพ. For the multi-factor, right, you can using like output divided by labor, capital, and energy. So in this case, it needs to be the same unit. Maybe the unit is about the money that you pay. And total measurement using all the input. And this is another example, right? You can see energy unit output per kilowatt hour that you use. Machine productivity using the output per machine hour that you use, something like that. For example, if I have 7,040 units produced of my products, the cost of the labor is 1,000. Cost of material is $520. Cost of the overhead is 2,000. What is the multi-factor productivity? In this case, the meaning of multi-factor productivity is mean they are just using all this, right, as an input. But actually they have others, right? So that not include, so it's not called total, it's called just multi-factor. The answer is true. Right? It comes from what? So output is about 7,040 units. Labor, you pay 1,000. Material, you pay 520. Overhead, you pay 2,000, so then you have two. So you can see that this is a multi-factor productivity for this case. Okay. And how about this one. You have 3 employees process 600 insurance policies in a week. They work 8 hours per day, 5 days per week. Calculate the productivity in policies per hour. So what you can do? Output divided by input, right? Output is about the number of policies to proceed, right? To process, right? So they have 600 policies. This is output. How about input, right? Productivity in the policy per hour. So you have 3 employees, each of them working 40 hours a week, right? So in this case, 40 hours come from 8 hours a day and 5 days a week. So when you divide it, you're gonna have like 5 policies per hour. How about this one? A team of workers make 400 units of products valued by its standard cost of $10 each, which means before markup for other expense and profit. The accounting department reports that the actual costs are $400 for labor, $1,000 for material, and $300 for overhead. Calculate the productivities. So output divided by input. Output in this case is what? We have the 400 units of the product, right? You know that it's cost each of them $10, so you can calculate using $10 multiplied here. And how about the input? You pay labor 400, 1,000 raw material, and 300 for the overhead. So this is the result. So if you are not multiplied with 10, it's okay, but the result is about something unit per dollar. So productivity can be the unit or not be unit. It's based on what thing that you're using as a to be the output and the input, right? So it's just easy, but believe me, when you take the exam, it's not that. just one formula can make you confused. Right? Output divided by input. In this case, is showing you about how can you measure, right? So it's same thing, but you can look over this. So productivity is just the one that you can use to measure how effective of your organization to using the resources to convert the input to be the output. So what would be the factor that affecting their productivity? For sure, capital. If you have more capital, probably you have more productivity. Have more money, it should be good, right? Better than less money. Quality, if you have better quality, you're gonna have the better productivity because you have less carbon, right? You have less waste. Right? How about the technology? New technology probably provide more productivity because new technology provide you with the faster abilities and also can produce more output. Management, right? You have the good management team for sure. The productivity can be quite going good. How about other that can affect to the productivity? Standardization. Yeah, for sure. The product that has more standardization, you have more productivity than the complex or products, right? Because the product that has the complexity, you produce with the less output, so productivity is low. Right? Use of the internet, I'm not kidding, right? This is the one that affects a lot, right? Especially in Thailand and in our school, right? You know, Wi-Fi signal or internet, you have the good connection of the internet, so productivity is quite good. Computer virus as well, right? And searching for the loss or the misplacement of the item. So if you have the ability to searching faster, you can have more better productivity. Scrap rate, right? Less scrap rate help you to have better productivities. New workers. So what happens about new workers? If you have a lot of new workers, you have less productivity. Why? You have lower productivity at the beginning. Why?
There's no cost to do.
Yeah, you have no experience, right? So let's say that you have one person that graduated with graduate honors from the university, right? If you let them to compete with the one that working for the company for more than 20 years, so they cannot compete at that time. But when the time is going on, that person is gonna get better and better. But at first, the new workers gonna have your less productivity. Safety, if you have more safety, productivity is getting better. Because if you have low safety, you can have the extent that can, maybe have the process that stop to have less output, so you have lower productivity, something like that. So layoff, this is the one that affect two sides of the productivity. For layoff, in the case that affect about the lower productivity, it means you have something that affect to the emotion of the worker who are still working, right? But their friend is getting laid off. But on the other hand, maybe layoff can help to getting the better productivity because they lay off the one that have less performance, right? And turnover, yes, more turnover, less productivities. These are the workplace, yeah, it affects, right? Just like when you think about your office, right? The space and the location and the layout of the office can help a lot and have effect about your ability to work. But it's a plan as well of the work. Right? So this is the factor that can be affected. And the problem is that in generally for company, sometimes they're doing like the outsourcing. Right? They are doing not good, so they outsource other to do it for them. Right? So they have the information that if you have like they improve the productivity, so it maybe can help you to reduce the need of the outsourcing. Can improve the productivity, is no need to getting the outsourcing because you can do it better. Right? And improve the productivity, so you need to first maybe you can attack to the bottleneck of the operation. So the one that provide the less output using more time, estimate the reasonable goal, because if you estimate the more extremely about the goal, so sometimes you cannot reach it, so it's going to the opposite side. You can make the quality getting lower because you have lost your encouragement. Right? And the management support, right? When you try to improve the practice, it means that you need to getting the top management to support. Right? And public size, right? The improvement. If you have doing whatever thing that you plan or you success, okay? And don't confuse the quantity with the efficiency. These two terms is quite similar in the term of you try to see how well that you can convert input to be the output. But the productivity is more broader than the efficiency. Efficiency is more narrow because when we talk about efficiency, we're going to talk about the efficiency of what thing, like specific to that thing. And for the service productivity, it's quite difficult, right, to measure. Right, and typically it's labor intensive, right? And the area of the quality is difficult, so that makes the productivity of the suite is quite difficult. Right? And the process yield, the last one, that this is quite close to the productivity, but the different thing is just only that for the output, they collect just the food product, right? Divided by input. But for the productivity, we collect all the output that produced, but for process yield, just for the food output divided by input. Right? So this is the process yield. So it's used to measure in another aspect as well. It's close to the very similar to the productivity, but more specific in terms of using the output of the food product only. Okay. So for today, actually just the beginning. I try to capture actually 2 chapters from textbook. In general, right? I'm not going to go more detail because the information and the strategy is also be one of the part of this case study. Okay, you're gonna see based on the case study again for the strategy. So I cannot tell the specific because I want you to using the case study to see more for the strategy. Okay, so for next week, we're gonna try to study the first important thing of the operation is about the forecasting about the demand, right? Because we need to know how can we estimate the demand, and then the information of demand going to be the input to other parts, right? Such as the capacity planning and the design, something like that. Okay. Anyway, for next week, I think the course will be ready for you guys. I'm gonna getting you guys into the course view next week. Okay, and post the slide into the course view next week. So today, just require you guys to split into 5 groups. Okay, and please sending the name for each group to me. Right, you have the head of your batch, right? So just one person, right, to represent for you guys, and send me via email. That tell me group 1, this is a name list for group 1, this is a name list for group 2. And don't forget that every group needs to do all the cases, but just leave one group to present that case. So you need to arrange by your own. I have no idea. Right? Let's say you have 5 groups. The first case, every group send it, but group 1 present that case. For the second, for another week, we have another case, 5 groups send again, but another group present something else. So 1 group per 1 presentation, right? And I let you present 15 to not more than 20 minutes for 1 presentation. But everything is submitted online. No need to provide me with the paper. Okay. So that's it. Okay. Welcome to the class. Okay. Very glad to have you here. Okay. And then hope that we're gonna have the great time together. Okay. So if you have any problem, if you have any question about the information in the class, you can come to ask me directly. Okay. So thank you for your attention. See you next week. ขอบคุณครับ
ไว้ก่อน
วันสมัยทรงเดียวอ่ะคนละก็บอกว่าทำคนละนี่เลย
ที่นี่ที่ทางที่เฟิร์สใช่ไหม
ไว้คิวกันสันดี
ก็ขอแล้วเป็นซีชิลแล้วเป็นคนที่ต้องจ่ายเป็นบาทต่อเดือนดังนั้นเงินที่เก็บก็เลยหายแล้วแบบของที่ทำไปอ่ะเขาไม่สามารถจะ cover เจ็บต้องจ่ายแบบได้
เลยต้องแบบโลกนี่
ก็เลยแบบราคาก็
อย่าสิ้นใหญ่ครับแต่สัมภาระสบาย
เสด็จเราเวลามีอย่างนี้การรับน้องปีหน้ามีก็ต้องไป
เพราะเด็กมีแต่ผมแต่ก่อนจะจบโค้ช
Don't worry, not yet, not go to the presentation part yet. So you can see that you can help me. See the point. See you later.
เรียนอยู่ด้วยไหม
Huh?
Do you Did you have say that you will join?
Yeah.
Huh?
Huh?
Oh,
What
to say to